We have yet another 90-day extension in the trade war truce between the U.S. and China. Both countries announcing this delay just hours before sky-high triple-digit levies were set to go into effect today. Now, the new deadline will keep tariffs on Chinese imports at 30%, while China's duties on U.S. imports will remain at 10%, at least for now. CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio joins us from London with more on this. Good morning, Ramy. You know, the general consensus seems to be relief. It's a temporary relief, though. What's behind the headline and why another 90-day delay?
Yeah, Errol, what you said, at least for now, this pause, the second in a row, and it is at least some kind of economic relief for both the U.S. and China, even if only for another 90 days. President Trump signed that executive order last night. Basically, he said that there are ongoing discussions and that Beijing, in his words in that order, is taking significant steps to address U.S. concerns. Now, he didn't give any detail on that, but at the White House, he did sound positive. Take a listen.
We'll see what happens. They've been dealing quite nicely. The relationship is very good with President Xi and myself.
Right, and China had its own measured reaction. A foreign ministry spokesman said that Beijing hopes that Washington will strive for positive outcomes based on what he said was mutual benefit. And that mutual benefit, at least in the near term, right, is averting tariffs of over 100% against each other, 145% tariffs on Chinese goods, up to 125% Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods. And I got to say the timing is notable here because of the December holiday season. It's summer now here in the Northern Hemisphere, right? But U.S. retailers will be stocking up on a lot of Chinese imports over the next few months. So this pause, in effect, helps those companies, and they won't have to make that devil's choice, if you will, to pass on higher costs to U.S. consumers and maybe eat some of those costs when they'll be buying things in November and December. And conveniently, Errol, this pause expires November 10th, right when consumers are going to be looking at those store shelves wondering what to buy.
It's a great point, Ramy. And just in our last few seconds, where then do things stand on the possibility of a meeting between President Trump and Xi Jinping?
Yeah, and you know, all this talk, it's a possible reason for the U.S. president kicking that so-called tariff can down the road to pave the way to meet President Xi, perhaps for an even bigger trade deal and for the optics, which we know he loves. They've met 3 times in the past. The last time was in 2019 before COVID. It's this October or early November that we're looking ahead to. Trump could meet Xi in South Korea during a major economic summit of Pacific Rim countries known as APEC. He might also try to get to China before APEC, and each side has things that the other needs. The U.S. has semiconductors that China needs. They're smaller, faster, better than the ones it can make right now. China has, we know, a near monopoly on rare earths used in phones, electric vehicles, and defense. And then the U.S. has soybeans that China needs to feed all of its livestock in order to feed its massive population. So that sets a table for possible talks and then potentially a bigger U.S.-China deal at some point in the future.
Yeah, kicking that tariff can, as you say, Ramy, that's an expensive can to kick. Thanks very much.